Hi everybody, it's Steve, and today I'm going to show you how to play a very simple two-chord song on the baritone ukulele. It will only take you a few minutes and you only need one finger. I'm going to make it so simple. So this is Okie from Muskogee, and I'm going to use a simplified version of the C chord over here. We're going to eliminate this finger right here. We're just going to use the first finger and we won't play this lowest sounding string. And then the G7 chord, you can see, also has just one finger. Now, I want to emphasize this is only applicable to the baritone ukulele. On a tenor or a soprano, any other kind of ukulele, these are actually, they work, but they're not named C and G7. All right, so this is a baritone uke, and this thing across the top of the strings is called the nut, and then each one of these bars further down is called a fret, okay? But when we say fret, put your finger on the first fret, we don't mean right on the bar. We mean between the nut and the first fret. So there, if you're looking at the chart, you put a finger on, actually I had it on the screen. You put a finger on that first string, and this is your left hand, of course, and press down hard, and that makes a G7 chord, and it sounds like this. And then, if you move that same finger from that first string to the second string, and then just don't play the fourth string, don't play the lowest string, that gives you a C chord. Wow, that's out of tune. Oh, I'm not supposed to play that D. Okay, so for Okie from Muskogee in its simplest form, let me get the paper here. The reason that I chose it is it has only two chords, and the pattern is very simple. Let's see, I thought I had it here. Hang on. Okay. Huh. There it is. Okay. Here it is. Let me put it up there. And let me see if I can fold it so you just actually see the pattern and the number of beats. Because that just makes things really simple. All right, so here we go. All you're going to see is this line, okay? So the first thing that you do is you play the C chord for 12 beats, and then you play the G7 chord for 16 beats, and then you play the C chord for 4 beats, and that is all there is to it, all right? So now, let's see, can I put that up there and you can still see the, not quite. Let me fold it up a little bit more. Here we go. See if we can see this. Put that in under there. Not quite. All right, there we go. So you can see that you start on the C chord, the first one here, and you play that for 12 beats, and then you go to the G7 chord, that one right there, and you play that for 16 beats, and then you go back to the C chord and you play that for 4 beats, okay? Now I'm going to do the whole thing as if I can really play the uke, which I can. And if you're new at this, you won't be able to do this yet, but here's kind of what, here's the end game. Here's what we're going for. Goodbye, Joe, me gotta go, me, whoops, wrong song. I'm proud we don't smoke marijuana in Muskogee. 10, 11, 12. We don't take no trips on LSD. Whoops, I miscounted. Let's try it again. We don't smoke marijuana in Muskogee. 6, 7, 8. We don't take no trips on LSD. We don't burn no draft cards down on Main Street. We like living right and being free. That's how it works, okay? And I know you couldn't see my hand behind the music stand. All right, so one of the hardest things, there's two things that are difficult for a beginner, at least two, and one is your finger gets sore. I don't know if you can see the line in it, but just from continually practicing and practicing and practicing and practicing, you can make that better. I've seen some people put some tape, any kind of tape, duct tape, electrical tape, even Scotch tape, over their fingers to make it a little bit easier to begin with, and that can make kind of a not so great sound, but I'll do it just so you can hear it, and it does make it easier on the fingers. But after just a few days or maybe a few weeks, your fingers will toughen up. You don't even actually have to have calluses. You just kind of get used to that pressure. All right, so now I wrap Scotch tape around my first finger, my index finger. Let's see what that sounds like. Here's the C. We don't wanna in Muskogee. We don't take no trips on LSD. We don't burn no draft cars down on Main Street. We like living right and being free. I don't know if that'll actually help you, but feel free to do it. You might also find, I don't know, some sort of tight-fitting glove that's fairly stiff, and you could just cut off a little bit for the index finger and the second finger and so on when you start using those. I'm going to get rid of this because it bothers me. I'm not used to that. Okay, now, so two things at least that are difficult for beginners. That's one of them. The strings hurt your fingers, and you get used to it over time. But the other one is switching between chords, because you have time. Let me get this off of here. I may have to leave it on there. You have time at the beginning of the song, before you start, to get your finger in the right place for the C chord, okay? But then you suddenly have to switch it at the right time to the G7 chord. And that takes some practice. It's not really that difficult. I mean, when you've done it for a while, you can do it super fast. Here I am on C. Here's G7. So that's one of the things you can do to make it easier. It's just practice switching from the C, here on the second string, to the G7 on the first string. But another thing you can do, two more things that you can do, is slow the tempo down, so you're going quite slowly, and then use the last 3 beats before you have to change. You stop playing and give yourself 3 beats to change, or more, but usually 3 will do it if you're going slowly. So I'm going to show you how that works. We don't smoke marijuana in Muskogee, 6, 7, 8. We don't take trips on LS, 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't burn no draft cars down on Main Street, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, and being free. That's how you do it. I'm going to do it one more time. We don't smoke marijuana in Muskogee, 7, 8. We don't take no trips on LSD, 2, 3, 4. We don't burn our draft cars down on Main Street. We like living right and being free. That's all there is to it. And of course, you can go much slower. We don't smoke marijuana in Muskogee. All right? So give that a try. I have found a YouTube where a performer is performing this in the key of C. It's not the original key. So you would have to use a capo or do some sort of electronic engineering to be able to play along with the original. But there is a performer that performs it in C. And if you subscribe to my channel and then email me, I'll tell you I'll give you the link for that performance. And then I can also, if you email me, I can also send you PDFs of these simple charts and the lyrics and all that jazz. Hope you enjoyed that, and good luck with it.